Looks like Chaos has been waiting for this video. Hey everyone, what up? Kaiser here. Now, when it comes to new and upcoming Final Fantasy games, there's a good amount to look forward to actually, like the upcoming Final Fantasy 16 being the next mainline numbered entry and single player title since the release of Final Fantasy 15, which came around in 2016. As well as the upcoming Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 being the continuation of the new reimagining of Final Fantasy 7, and even the next saga and new updates for the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy 14. And while all of those are looking pretty good, and it might take a while before we can dine in all of those games, what if I told you there's another brand new Final Fantasy game coming this year? And if you could tell from the title of this video, yep, it is Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, or as people would refer it to as
Chaos. Chaos is chaos. Chaos. Chaos.
Now, whenever it was first revealed, it was met with a mixed reception at best. Though over time, with new and much better trailers and positive reception from its 2 trials, the game has gotten a fair bit of attention now, and even some excitement from some people, including me. So, with it being now March and a few weeks before its release, here are 10 things you need to know about Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. Whenever the series has a big anniversary milestone, let alone almost any gaming series, Square Enix would like to produce a special game to celebrate it, with examples like the City of Final Fantasy celebrating the 20th anniversary, as well as World of Final Fantasy, which was a celebration of the 30th anniversary. Given that Yoshitaka Amano did special artwork in preparation for the 35th anniversary with the original Warrior of Light, as it was revealed for the game's second trailer, it's no secret really that this game is meant to celebrate the series' the 35th anniversary for Final Fantasy, and seeing what the game will offer and contribute for the series, I think this one will be a good way to celebrate. Number 2, developed by Team Ninja. If you're familiar with that name, which I think some are, you'll know that they have a track record of making really solid fun, fluid, and challenging combat, with stuff like Ninja Gaiden, and most notably of all, the Neo series. While their first collaboration with Square Enix for Final Fantasy didn't work out so well, with the City NT being a flop, it seems they are given a second chance and just doing what they are really good at, while using cues from their Neo games, but also putting a Final Fantasy twist with a Soulsborne-like Final Fantasy game. They even have some difficulty options, even like an easy mode for those Final Fantasy fans who may not be the best at action games, especially Soulsborne games, and want to casually enjoy the game as it is. And I think to be accessible and not alienate its fanbase is a good one at least. Number 3, retelling of Final Fantasy 1. Now, with this game taking around the universe of the original Final Fantasy, many people are assuming of what this game is. Is it a remake of Final Fantasy 1 or even a prequel? Well, it's confirmed that it's more of a retelling, a sort of alternate take to Final Fantasy 1's lore, but also can serve as an origin story for the main antagonist of Final Fantasy 1, being Jack Garland. So it's pretty much a different take on the plot of Final Fantasy 1, but we'll also delve into Garland's origin, but basically having Jack Garland and his crew, being the Warriors of Light, trying to do their best to defeat chaos and bring peace and prosperity to the land of Cornelia, the kingdom of Cornelia, and to vanquish the darkness. Number 4. Returning characters. Since Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin is taking place in the world of Final Fantasy 1, many characters from that game will reappear in more glorious HD and modern graphics, such as characters like the King of the Dark Elves Astos, the dangerous pirate Bike, the precious Princess of Cornelia Sarah, and even the 4 fiends Marleth, Kraken, Tiamat, and Lich, and some of them could possibly even take larger roles in the narrative. So Final Fantasy 1 fans should be a treat to see some of those iconic characters from Final Fantasy 1 being remade in modern graphics with brand new design. Number 5. Numerous job classes. If one of your favorite things from the Final Fantasy games is the job system, you'll be happy to know that it makes a return in Stranger of Paradise, as you'll be able to have about 27 different jobs to choose from, with many even advancing to different classes, as each of them have their own skill tree, and a certain amount of them can be evolved and upgraded, like from Lancer to Dragoon, Mage to Black Mage, and some great ones like Great Sword, Void Knight, or Samurai for example. And with many of them having different uses, techniques that stand among each other, there is certainly going to be some variety, customization, and solid experimentation on all of them, and which one will suit your playstyle, as well as it will give you the freedom to switch between 2 jobs during the midst of battle. Number 6. Optional co-op. This is one of the first few action-based Final Fantasy games to have optional co-op multiplayer, allowing you to connect with friends online, and they will be able to play as the other party members in battle with you, as you can traverse the dungeons with your team and battle against hard enemies and bosses, while also collecting gear specifically for you and your friends through treasures and spoils from enemies. The limit of how many members can join you is 3, so it's just you and 2 members that can join. This unique aspect alone has been well received by people who played the second demo, and honestly would just get some very good replayability out of this, and just be, a fun time to play this game with friends. Number 7. Areas based on past Final Fantasy locations. One of the coolest aspects of Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin is that it will have many areas and levels which are based off from locations that come from past Final Fantasy games, such as examples like the Referent Waterlands that was in the second demo, which is an homage to the Sunleft Waterscape from Final Fantasy XIII, which had its mechanics implemented there, as well as a new arrangement of its theme. And more is shown to come, like the Sunken Shrine here for example, being an homage to the Mako Reactor from Final Fantasy VII. There's bound to be more levels based on areas from older Final Fantasy games, and this should be a good way of acknowledging the series' history while providing a good much of fan service and just, be a nice way to celebrate the series overall. Number 8. DLC. Stranger of Paradise will also include a Season Pass, which will have 3 expansions known as Trials of the Dragon King, Wanderer of the Rift, and Different Future, and you can buy it either from the Season Pass or Digital Deluxe Edition altogether. Though sadly, those expansions aren't sold separately, and the Season Pass isn't up for pre-order yet. If you do pre-order the game, you'll be able to receive bonus weapons, with the Brave Heart weapon and Lustrous Shield that the original Warrior of Light would use, as well as you get Garland's Rebellion weapon. You also receive early access to the game on March 15th, And if you do get this on the PlayStation 4, it does come with a PlayStation 4 exclusive theme for the game. And the digital deluxe edition will offer you a digital art book and a digital mini soundtrack as a bonus. Number 9. Multi-platform and cross-gen title. Now, if you are worried that Stranger of Paradise will be a PlayStation 5 timed exclusive, just like on how Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate was, and soon the upcoming Final Fantasy XVI, then worry no more, as Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin will also be on the PlayStation 4 as well as the PlayStation 5, and Xbox players don't get to be left out, as this game will also be on the Xbox One and Xbox Series. And if you have the game on any of the last-gen consoles, you will be able to upgrade the game to their respective next-gen consoles for free. And PC players will be able to play this on the Epic Game Store, though there are no currently reports of it coming to Steam day one. Number 10. Worldwide release on multiple platforms. Whereas recent Final Fantasy games like 7 Remake Integrate and soon the upcoming Final Fantasy XVI would release on the PlayStation 5 first and then come later to other platforms, Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin will be releasing on all platforms on March 18th, 2022, that being on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and PC via Steam. Well, actually not Steam, the Epic Game Store. RIP Steam, and I guess the Nintendo Switch. So there is a likely chance that anyone who is interested in this game and has the ability to play on any of those platforms will not forcibly be missed out by it, which is great. Heck, it even comes a week after Chocobo Grand Prix. What's there not to like? And that, my friends, is 10 things you need to know about Strangers of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. So, what you guys think? Will you be getting this game day one? Or you'll be waiting for a sale and get this later down the line? Or just will you not be getting this game at all? Let me know down in the comments below. Anyway guys, thank you guys so much for watching, so punch that like button, drop down a comment and hit that subscribe button if you're new. I'll see you guys in the next video. Mad Kaiser, out.